Hi guys, TR here and thanks for dropping by and watching my video. So in this particular episode, I'm gonna be doing a recap on what we have learned so far, and probably I have to say this is going to be the last episode for the walkthrough, as I've more or less achieved what I've been looking for the game, which is having excellent yield plantation, which I already have as you can see here. Now it could be more, but at least we know that in this current situation it is doable, and we have achieved those things. And we also have found enough water to supply our colony. And I have also tested to see if these sleet wheats are going to be able to yield excellent production. And in fact, we did. Now, as I've mentioned before, so the hotfix probably did something with the changes in terms of how the plant grows. So the biggest learning that we have here is that the requirements to get excellent yields is no longer as difficult as it should be. Now, the only thing that you really need to do here is to get at least the ideal air pressure, then have the hydroponic farm working, which contains fertilizers and polluted water or water. Now, in terms of temperature, as long as you're able to keep within the minimum requirements of temperature for these plants to grow, you're good. And at the end of the day, you're going to be able to get excellent yields of over 100 points. Now, if you followed through my series, you could have seen that I have created some of these millwoods here. You're currently seeing that we're having toasty surroundings. So the only thing that I really didn't account to when I was looking into the area for the specific temperatures is that so the only thing I didn't account for which are the pipes which are located nearby my millwood plants, and the structures that I created are emitting too much hot air, which is now starting to affect my millwood plants. As you can see here, this is starting to stifle, and I would expect that it will stifle most of the plants in this immediate vicinity because I have electrolyzers, air scrubbers, natural gas generators generating a lot of heat. Plus, we have a pipe coming from our steam geysers, which is also producing a lot of heat. So this is eventually going to disrupt the growth of my millwood plants. So eventually we have to adjust. So, but apart from that, our bristle blossoms are doing great. They're fantastic. They're all growing in excellent yields, which is great. For sleet wheats, it's so easy to do that right now because I don't really have to worry about getting that negative 35 to negative 40 degrees Celsius ideal temperature. So we pretty much have a lot of options in terms of what kind of agriculture do you want to sustain for your colony. So as you can see, we can do any of these three. I think the easiest would be sleet wheats because you just plant them in the ice biome and you're good to go. Unlike for bristle blossoms and millwoods, you still need to find that temperate zone and a little bit cool zone for these two plants to actually grow correctly. So one thing I also learned from this particular run is that natural gas geysers can supply enough gas for your natural gas generators to run, but when you try to put in your gas pumps, the gas pumps can actually only supply enough natural gas for two natural gas generators. So we learned that here. So I had to shut down one of my generators here in order to have these two generators pump up enough energy to be able to run the other stuff that I have here in my base. So if you want more natural gas generators, then probably you need to create another gas pump to supply those other gas generators. So another thing I learned here is that in terms of massage tables, they're quite essential throughout the game. So initially, when my population was around 10 to 15, we just needed maybe one or two massage tables. But when we started to grow, we started needing to go as far as four. Now, stress really piles up here, especially when you have them do a lot of things outside the specific colony area that we have here. So you really need to have these massage tables working so you can manage more or less your stress levels. And as I've advised before, you still need to actually create these portraits and some of these statues to actually help de-stress your duplicants. So they still do help. So if you just rely on massage tables alone, you're never going to run out of stress, and that's going to be a big problem for your duplicates in the long run. Now, in terms of oxygen, as I've mentioned before, always at the start just rely on one deoxidizer. Then you can probably extend to second deoxidizer if you think that you have more than enough algae to supply your colony. But one should be more than enough if you do not plan to open up this big of a space. But eventually you will have to add more electrolyzers probably or another deoxidizers. It really depends on the requirements that you need. So you're going to need to add more of those as your colony grows so that your base will have at least sufficient concentration of oxygen for them to live in. So another tip here I have is you can use gas permeable tiles on your water holes. So just one layer of those can actually hold more than enough. No matter how much water you have, these gas permeable tiles can actually hold the water in. Now you can actually put those tiles also down here, and you will have actually no problem in terms of leaking water outside your water hole. And so that's it, guys. So I hope that this series helped you out in terms of starting off your own colony. And again, if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. And if not, there's a dislike button there that you can press. And as always, thanks for dropping by and watching my video. Hope to see you again next time, guys. Tear out.